covered. Our Dan Orlovsky threw out an interesting question the other day. What's worse or more detrimental, drafting a quarterback too early and missing, or paying a free agent quarterback too much and missing? We bring in our GM for that, Mike Tannenbaum. Mike T, thanks so much for being with us. What would you say is more detrimental to a team, Mike?
If you draft and miss a quarterback, when you have a young quarterback under contract in our rookie system, it's a gold nugget. I mean, the list is long, Molly. You could talk about the Jets and the Giants, Zach Wilson, Daniel Jones. You could talk about Anthony Richardson and the Colts, Cleveland going back to Johnny Manziel, on and on and on. If you don't have a productive young quarterback under contract as a rookie, it's really hard to win. And the inverse really proves my point. You look at a team like Jayden Daniels and the Commanders, what they've been able to do. They got a great young player who's under cost certainty for a number of years. That creates an opportunity. Same thing with the 49ers with Brock Purdy. So to me, you get the right quarterback at the right price, you have a real chance to win.
Shannon?
No, the answer is a veteran quarterback. If you think about what Atlanta did, they paid a boatload of money to Kirk Cousins. They missed. They stuck $100 million. At best, at worst case scenario, you draft a rookie and you miss on him, you're gonna give him $40 million guaranteed. That's it. That's it. That's if he goes #1 overall. You get him somewhere down the line, you might only be out of $40 million. You miss on a Kirk Cousins, that's $100 million. You miss on a Russell Wilson, you got dead money on your cap. If you miss on a veteran quarterback, with the money you have to pay, that is much, much worse than missing on a rookie. Because now if you miss on a rookie, you're gonna be out of there after he's gonna be out of there after what, 2 years, 3 years top. Miss on a veteran quarterback like a Kirk Cousins or Russ, you got hell on your hands. So I'd rather miss on a rookie than a vet.
I'm going to agree with Shannon on this. No surprise, Mike T. Love you to death, Mr. CIA, but you know you never cease to amaze me. I'm going to go with the free agent, and here's the reason why. Even though I will concede that it's bad, considering the amount of investment in the evaluation process and what level of cachet is placed upon that for executives to make the decision on a young quarterback, right? I would tell you it's worse if you miss on a veteran quarterback in free agency. And here's the reason why. It's not just because of the money that you doled out to acquire that quarterback, but it's also the fact that you saw their body of work. And so to make that investment and the miss on it, because it speaks to a lack of evaluating skills, dare I say, if you end up picking somebody that doesn't get it done. Now, of course, if they're coming off injuries and stuff like that, you have to take that into consideration. As bad as Kirk Cousins looked, he was injured the year before, and he came back after that and then had a good start, but tailed off later, and Penix Jr. comes in there and plays lights out. But the flip side to it, what if you are a team and you're an executive and you go and you pick a veteran quarterback that health is not an issue. They just come to your squad and they play like trash. And that could cost you your career.
Right, I understand that, guys. I think we're sort of overcomplicating it. Just go to the top of the draft. Tennessee, Will Levis didn't work out. They have the first pick. Cleveland, Giants, second, third. Just keep on going right down. Show me a team in the top 10. I will show you a rookie quarterback that didn't exceed expectations. And you guys are making great points. You miss on Russell Wilson and all that guaranteed money. It is catastrophic.
Nick Foles in Jacksonville.
Right. But, again, look where Jacksonville's picking. Has Trevor Lawrence worked out? No, he hasn't. They're picking fifth. They changed coaches. They changed GM. Didn't work out at the Jets with Zach Wilson, obviously also Aaron Rodgers. And look, they changed as well. So to me, when you look at the last couple of years and you look at the top 5, top 10 picks, guys, there's a correlation to likely a first-round quarterback that didn't work out.
All I know is the quarterback in this quarterback situation in this draft is going to be absolutely fascinating. And I'm not just saying that because the Giants picked 3.
Yeah. Tim Ward's going to be an instant star in Tennessee. Would you believe it?
I would not. And listen, I base that on what we've seen transpire the last couple of years, where we're talking about C.J. Stroud was a star his rookie year. Jayden Daniels upended him and was a star his rookie year. Are we talking about Cam Ward being on that type of trajectory, that type of level? I just have a hard time thinking he's going to reach that level. So I would not.
Yeah, it's setting a very, very high bar, but that's what these guys before him have done. All right, next one, more quarterbacks. Would you believe Jackson Dart winds up getting drafted ahead of Shedeur Sanders?
I would believe this. I would, because
I put a pin in that one. I want to come back to it in a minute with Schrager, but here's the last one for you. Steelers will take Jalen Milroe with their first-round pick. Would you believe it?
Green, I'm calling the audible on this one.
Yeah.
Originally, I said I would. I think more so I was talking myself into that because of, again, traits by Jalen Milroe. I'm going to say would not. I think as much as we talk about his athletic ability, the warts in as far as playing the quarterback position, we can't ignore that.
Yes.
We can't ignore the way that Jalen Milroe played this past season, especially the latter part of the season. I don't think those are things that teams can ignore, so I'm going to say would not.
For those of you at home, that's why it took so long for the graphic to go up. He literally changed his mind in the moment.
Yes.
Score that one, not the fault of our staff.
That's
working
right.
hard behind the scenes. Well, you're wondering to yourself, well, I don't know anyone saying Jalen Milroe is going to go 21 to the Steelers. Yes, you do. Dan Orlovsky said it yesterday here on Get Up.
I'm more intrigued with the Steelers and Jalen Milroe than I was 2 or 3 weeks ago. I would start with this. I don't think that there's a team in the NFL that is in a worse situation when it comes to the quarterback position than the Pittsburgh Steelers. And this is a guy that has rare physical talent when it comes to Jalen Milroe. So I understand he's flawed, but I don't think he's nearly as flawed as a passer as some people believe.
All right, Mike Tannenbaum, I'm looking at the face on Traeger, but I want to start with Mike T, because I know you made your living evaluating these sorts of things. What are your thoughts here? Jalen Milroe as high as 21.
Yeah, right player, wrong round. You know, we talk about floors and ceiling. He has a high floor. He has 77 touchdowns between passing and running. He has a ton of ability, and the ceiling's very high. But right now, from the pocket, his completion percentage is just average and needs to get better, Greeny. When you're the Steelers and you pay $30 million a year, excuse me, and a second-round pick for DK Metcalf, you want to win right now. Jalen Milroe is a win-tomorrow quarterback, and that's why, to me, it's very inconsistent to take him at 21 and give up a second-round pick for Metcalf.
Yeah, listen, and I mean, it chokes me up just thinking about it, too. Here's the thing, Schrager. I mentioned earlier in the hour, I mean, I've been working on these players since January. Jalen Milroe's name was being talked about like in the late second, third round. All of a sudden, he's invited to the draft. He's coming. There's a lot more buzz than I would have expected. Should we be expecting Jalen Milroe to go in the first round of this draft?
No, but it could happen. Here's what he brings. He brings something in a package this year where you put him in on the red zone and you give him 5 plays a game. You give him 10 plays a game, and then you let him learn from a veteran quarterback, and eventually he's your guy. If you're the Steelers and you're assuming that Rodgers is not your quarterback, Milroe at 21 wouldn't be the pick. You've got a veteran team with veteran wide receivers. The team that I would look for is a team that has a guy that maybe they're not 100% certain is the long-term future that you could put him in, like a Seattle. They signed Sam Darnold to a 3-year deal. Sam Darnold has had ups and downs. Seattle wouldn't take him at 18, but if we're sitting at 27, 28, 29, 30, you want to trade back in, that's the Milroe pick where, all right, Darnold's struggling, don't worry, we've got Milroe, or it's 3rd and 6, and we want to have a splash play. Let's put Milroe in there. He does the read option, and we get it. This is not a full-time quarterback in year one. He's certainly not a quarterback of a team that went to the playoffs last year and still sees a window with veteran guys.
Listen, to spend 5 consecutive minutes with Jalen Milroe was to love him. He was here in studio. So what I'm about to say, I say as someone who will root for him forever. Jalen Milroe, after the Georgia game last year, which was in September, threw more interceptions than he did touchdowns, and 2 of those touchdowns were against Mercer. So, I mean, this was a struggle of a season in his final year in college. I agree. He has enormous talent. It is a project, and perhaps a long-term one. I saw out of the corner of my eye, you sort of reacted when D. Wood said,